Their insightful experiences will surely enlighten us and pave the way forward in advancing integrative health solutions. To begin this energetic session, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the day, Professor Mohammad Gulamuddin Sofi, Professor and Head of Department of Advia, National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore. Professor Sofi is a distinguished academician and researcher with over 100 research papers published in national and international index journals. His contributions to Unani medicine are further amplified through his authorship of 2 books and 3 book chapters. A pioneer in Unani pharmacology, he played a key role in establishing the Animal House in National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore, and served as its in charge for 15 years. Additionally, he has been an active editor for the Journal of Research in Unani Medicine and member of Animal Ethics Committee for 17 years. He is also a part of Technical and Research Committee at NIF Bangalore. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these huge introductions, may I request Professor Mohammad Gulamuddin Sofi sir to address our esteemed participants of the national seminar on the topic Reviving Ancient Wisdom, How Unani Medicine Can Transform Modern Healthcare Systems Through Collaboration.
Today we have the topic Ancient Wisdom, Revival of Ancient Wisdom, How Unani Medicine Can Transform Modern Healthcare Through Collaboration. I am audible to all. So when we say a revival of ancient wisdom, that means something is there which is to be revived. So this should be, we should have some theory about what is to revive and what is not to revive. Then we have another topic, how we can transform healthcare through Unani medicine. So these are the 2 challenges which we will discuss today. Basically we will be addressing the collaborative research, how collaborative research is done, why it should be done, what is the rationale for going into this collaboration. All these things will come up. If we go for the presentation overview, we will be dealing with characteristics of Unani medicine, its theoretical framework, different dimensions of Unani medicine, then what are the principles of Unani medicine. Then we will see as collaboration as a part of integration, and then what is the rationale behind this integration. Seeing the rationale, we will see historical basis of integration and scientific advancement as purposive cause for integration. Then we will see various areas where we will have to go for integration and collaboration. Holistic health and primary care will be one of the areas. Then we have innovations in Unani medicine and public health. And then lastly we will be seeing about what are the strategies for integration and collaboration. Before starting this presentation, I would like to state that this ancient wisdom is not knowledge, wisdom is not fact, and wisdom is not collection of facts or knowledge, but it is basically the working with the knowledge or facts of Unani medicine. How we efficiently work through it, that means wisdom. So wisdom is basically a higher stage of learning or higher stage of practicing Unani medicine with its principles intact and helping the suffering humanity to come up, to be normal people, to come up in the society without any bias, without any inequality. We call this what we say the wisdom. When we talk of Unani medicine, we say it is a pathy, and it is not far-fetched that it is a complete pathy. Whenever we need collaborations, we see some certain deficiencies, and we are going to fill it up. When I say Unani is a complete pathy, why should we need collaboration? Late in 1920s, when Ajmal Khan tried to have certain reforms in Unani medicine, he was in the parliament as a member, and there was a litigation that Unani should be, all the traditional systems should be stopped, only allopathy should be tried to, it should be practiced in every part of the country. That Ayush Khan, what he convened various sessions, he convened various public meetings, and we found that there were two group of people. One group which was with Ayush Khan, they advocated that we should compromise somewhere, or we should have certain integration and collaboration, and we should have certain integration with the allopathic medicine like surgery and gynecology and physiology, as there is a need that Unani has redundant pathology, physiology and something, and he tried to say that we should integrate our curricula. But there was one more group. It was led by the Unani teams from Lucknow and Muradabad. And one of them stood up and said, why should we go for it? Whenever this system is complete, perfect, why should we adopt these things? We have the philosophy, we have the logic, and we can go for Unani practice without taking aid of allopathy. This discussion was in 1920. And it has been documented by Guy Atwell in his book Refitting of Unani Medicine in Colonial India. It has been published by Wellcome Trust. So these two groups, you see, again somehow we are at the same place where we were in 1922. Should we go for integration? Should we go for collaboration? Or should we have this traditional pathy as pure, as orthodox it was in the previous century? So Ayush Khan was a pioneer who just took us out from this isolationist attitude. He said, no, we have the principles, they are perfect principles, but they need to be augmented with modern sciences, modern technology, so that we can say they are perfect and they are complete, even if we discuss them in modern parlance. So when we take this Ayush Khan's case, what he says is that we should not compromise with our principles. They are complete, but we need to have evidence for other people who don't believe in us. So this was the basic proposition of Hakim Ayush Khan. But later on, if we see what was its effect was very much different what Ayush Khan had thought. The effect was that in Journal of Ayurveda Medicine, JIM, we say that it has just was reported by in the parliament by Jairam Ramesh. He says that 90% of traditional practitioners practice allopathy. Only 10% of the practitioners of traditional medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, everything, they are practicing their pathies, and 90% are practicing allopathy. So somewhere we have gone wrong. Somewhere we have strayed from what Ayush Khan wished to incorporate. We may be very experts in physiology, modern surgery, and everything. Even the drugs we give, even the drugs we learn, we may be expert in it. But what Edmund Khan wished, he said we should not compromise with our principle and practice. What our framework is, that should be retained. That was the wisdom which we want to share with our future generations, our present generation and our future generations, that we cannot compromise with the basic postulates, fundamental principles. What fundamental principles are? Usually people are very much superficially thinking what fundamental principles are. Basically, fundamental principles are those principles which cannot be altered. Say, for example, we say mass and energy is interconvertible. It is one of the fundamental principles of physics. And it is governing every technology, it is governing everything in physics, that energy is indestructible, mass can be converted to energy, energy can be converted to mass, but basically energy is indestructible. It is one of the basic postulate of physics. Similarly, when we say basic principles of Unani medicine, we have certain basic principles which have been discussed in history throughout, and they are very much perfect, that we need not to transform them unless we don't have a paradigm shift. Say, for example, Newton gave certain laws and Einstein changed it, modified it, so he made a paradigm shift. This paradigm shift was there because he said that energy can be converted into mass, and Newton was not able to see it. Similarly, if we want to change our principles, there should be a paradigm shift that can only happen if we are perfect in our method. We have perfection in our knowledge what principles are, and then if we advocate something different, we may have a paradigm shift. But so far, when we think that they are perfect, and they are perfect till date, so we have to adhere to the principles. So if we go here, what are the characteristics of Unani medicine? Because when we say reviving our Unani wisdom or ancient wisdom, we have certain framework. We have a typical framework, theoretical framework, or idealistic framework, which includes the holistic nature of things. It has been discussed a lot what holism means. But basically, one definition we don't have. We have almost 6 components of holism. When we say it is holistic, we treat one individual and not a disease. It is one of the dimensions what holism means. Again, when we say holistic, we say individualization of treatment. We give a person and a disease a unique entity, and then we treat him. This is another meaning of holism. When we say holism, we say all our practice, clinical practice, it should stem from the basic principles of Unani medicine are clear. If it is not from that angle, it is not coming up. It cannot be holistic. Only holism means that whatever the practice, whatever the procedures we have, whatever the SOPs we have, they should stem from the basic principles of Unani medicine. That is another dimension of holism. Fourth dimension is we have basically we treat a human being bio, socio, psychological and spiritual unit. When we say bio, socio, psychological and spiritual unit, What does it mean? If we treat him just a physical entity, that will lead to reductionism, allopathy, and we are not allopathy. If we treat him as a biosocial unit, sociological and biological unit, that will lead us in the realm of ethnography or ethnopharmacology, and that is not Unani medicine. If we take bio-socio and psychological unit only, it will give us systems. I look to the Unani medicine, which we are following today. Systems look to that, but it is not holism. And when you think supranaturally, along with biosocial psychology, then we have complete holism in us. That is one of the definitions what we say holistic means. So we have lot many connotation to this holism. That there is individualization of treatment. So holism and individualization of treatment seem somewhat different, but it has to stem from holism only, because a person is always in resonance with cosmic world. Maybe stars, maybe the vacuum of the atmosphere, and the atmosphere, the lithosphere, the biosphere, all are in resonance. We are living here as a part of some system. But we don't have the same qualities. We are individuals itself. Being individuals, we need to alter disease in an individual if he is diseased in a very unique way, in an individualized way. So we say whenever we treat, we say what is the disease, what is the sleep disease, why he is living. Is he living near the hills or in the plains or in the coastal area? And then we say what is his build. Is he thin built? Is he very tall? Is he muscular or he is very tiny? Again, we have to take this into our consideration, and then we have to plan the treatment. This is what we call individualization of treatment. It is not the way what we say that genomics. When we involve in genomics, here we also have this term individualization of treatments, because all genes have a different, and every gene has a different phenotypic representation. Here we go for the individualization, and that has a different meaning. But here, when we say Unani medicine, our individualization of treatment has different meaning, because it relates to macro worldview, not the micro worldview. These different aspects have led to several theories in Unani medicine. Say, for example, we have principles of Unani medicine. They encompass theory of hydromorphism. Everything is composed of matter. It is a particular shape, and then it has a particular configuration. We call it Havla, Surat, and Suratinoia. And this is one of the theories which has come from Greeks. Though it has been obsolete now because we don't think of it. Physics and chemistry, they are thinking of it, and they ultimately there is this concept of configuration, concept of mass, concept of matter. But here we have almost forgotten this theory in other sciences and in Unani medicine also. When we talk of drugs, we say it is the caffeine which causes the action. So we are talking of the form of a matter. And when we say food, we say it is the matter which is being utilized by the body. We are talking of foods. And when we say Havla, we have a term what we call the effect by Zulfasa, or Zulfasa effect. So this has stemmed from this theory. We call it theory of hydromorphism. Though people are not thinking, our sciences are not thinking about it, but there is inherently a subconscious preview of this theory of polymorphism just today. It is in today's scientific world, it is there, but it is not expressed. It is not expressed vividly. Then we have one more theory in our framework that is called theory of akhlaq or humors. It was the Bukrat who stated that disease and health can be defined as balance or imbalance of humors. From that onwards, today we have a book. Say, for example, the chapter of the book is In Search of Sauda or Black Bile. It is one of the chapters of that book. Presently, in 21st century, we have this chapter in one of the eminent books, In Search of Black Bile, because basically we say black bile is responsible. That sway result in black bile is responsible to mental diseases. So people thought that what is this black bile? And in that chapter we say they have associated with all the variations in cortisol, in epinephrine, in dopamine, all these axes of neurotransmitters. But still they are unaware what this black bile is. Last he says that we may reduce black bile to give neurotransmitters, but we have not searched it yet. Similarly, we have one theory of research. I have kept it after this theory of Kaplan because human structure, when we describe it, it becomes system to cell to atoms. This theory of design is very important because whatever the disease we discuss, whatever the constitution we discuss, whatever the personality we discuss, it all comes to what is the desire of a person. So when we say desire, we think about unanimity. So this is our pivotal term. This theory of design, we say we have four types of personalities, four types of constitutions, and you will be very surprised that if you know about the theories of personality in psychology, Costa says that there are only four personalities. So he has not defined them as Balagami, Sapravi and others. He has told about it. Costa has given big four theory, and even our Isaac and Alport, who have given the personality theories, they have started from the traits. He says in his book, Isaac's book, he says that, and Alport also, he says that there are several traits defined by Hippocrates about various personalities, and he has termed them introvert and extrovert dimension. Then he says that there is psychotic, neurotic and psychotic dimension, and divided into four quadrants. All the traits, all the behavioral traits which are dominant in any person, say for example active, passive, or angry, very much what we say introvert, and without any affect, all these traits, sadness, grief, they have divided into four quadrants, and all these quadrants they were effected because of this Hippocratic theory of Akhlaq. And when we are trying to make this instrument for research, we are invariably saying that we have four types of personalities: Sapravi, Balagavi, Davi, and Sodam. And all those traits come into it. And when you see our literature, we have a lot many alamat. Say alamat ashra. They are the categorization of those alamat, 10 alamat. All those alamat, all those signs, we have categorized into four these types of personality. So when we say theory of result, we say we have four types of personalities, and even drug has its own result. And it has been defined when we administer a drug into humans. It causes certain effects, it causes certain signs, And all those signs can be differentiated into Har, Farid, Ratab and Yavis qualities. Similarly, when we try to make an instrument, when we try to make a questionnaire out of it, CCRM is at the brink of taking and making an instrument about it, making a questionnaire. As part of the committee, we saw that we could easily go for categorizing all these signs and symptoms and then framing a questionnaire. And then when we factorize it, factor analysis, when we go for the factor analysis, we saw that surely they were divided into four types of factors, four types of categories, what we say four types of personalities. So here, what we have done, we have chosen our literature, seen the signs of the theories, signs of these personalities, or signs of the result, and then we went for the factor analysis. What we did, we went to modern science techniques, the statistical technique, and then it gave us a validity in a way that it has categorized all those symptoms and signs of alarm into four categories, major categories. And then we were validated that there are four types of disease categories. And then we easily formulated a questionnaire of 20 questions. It will be coming very soon. So, what I just hinted about this theory of result, it is one of the basic principles of Unani medicine which we have to look. Then we have another theory which is very important, which is usually forgotten by our experts and our teachers and our students. That is theory of causation of disease and health state. We have four types of causes, basic causes, four types of causes by which we can say any event can happen. It may be the material cause, it may be the purposive cause. All these four causes, if you want to see in the realm of physics, we have four forces that govern, that change the state of matter. It may be the gravitational force, it may be the interatomic force, it may be the weak interaction force, or it may be the nuclear force. Similarly, when we say there are four causes, causes are basically what gives motion to an object or a thing. When I say there are four forces, there are also the agents which cause a change in the state of matter. Similarly, we have four causes of disease and health state. All these things will come under the basic principles of Unani medicine. Here, one thing I would like to mention, that is when we call up integration. I say that we should not compromise with the basic principles. We have to take them with us. One more thing which is very important. We should not shy away telling our concepts in our terms. Using result, it should be always used as result. When we say it is temperament, it is constitution, it is disposition, we are doing some injustice with the concept. What result connotes is not meant when we say temperament. Basically, temperament is a psychological term. It only involves what is in the mood and what is in the emotions. When we say constitution, it simply is a physical concept. It only connotes the structure of matter. And when we say disposition, it is simply a hygiene principle which says that what is going to be in the future. So all those terms, whenever we are talking of these things, we should have these conceptual terms in our way, not in the ways probable meaning of it, giving it an English translation. We should not do it. We should tell this is this and then explain it. But when say we collaboration, basically collaboration is part of integration. What should be the rationale behind integration? We have two rationales. One is the historical basis of integration, which is very important. Say, for example, nature of Unani medicine. Basically, Unani medicine was practiced throughout the history of humankind. If you say Mesopotamian civilization, which wrote on cuneiform tablets, then it was deciphered. We saw there were 14 formulae for certain diseases, and they all incorporated in Unani medicine. Then from Sumeria or Mesopotamian civilization, it went to the Egyptian civilization, also the River Valley civilization only. And in the papyri we find 65, Apis papyrus, 65 formulations. All those formulations and involving practice. Even Shah Jahan, when he took her dead queen from Bhopal to Agra, it was involved in the same formulation. All those formulations are retained in Unani medicine. Then it went to Greek, what we say Unani. There it was developed on the philosophical and logical basis. So its nature, see, from one culture to another, adopt in other cultures, it should have basically the adaptive nature, the collaborative nature, the integrative nature, and it will not be adopted if it has not that much flexibility. Then we have another thing. Presently, if you see this integration, it was Ajmal Khan who tried to integrate these things. The coinage, we go for this Unani day. After his name, it is not basically just a tradition or just a festival. Basically, he secured the position for traditional medicine in this century. He represented us in the parliament in British era and stopped that legislation which tried to stop all the traditional practice in India in 1922. Then he went for research. He gave certain formulae to one of the eminent scientists, Salim Zaman, and then he found there was one preparation, one plant, Asro, Rolfia, we could treat this hypertension. And that time it became a modern sciences. Then he was the person who set up a research committee or a publication committee to translate things from Arabic and Persian to Indian languages, which helped all the Unani people to see what Unani is. Because most of the people, they had left learning Arabic in true sense, except learning how to read Quran. They did not know how to read the language of Arabic. Then we have one more thing for collaboration is that scientific advancement has purposive cause for integration. I am saying purposive cause. I am saying that we have to adhere to our principles. Whenever we see of integration, we need two things. One is, in this era, we need evidence-based medicine and we need technological analysis. When we say evidence, WHO has divided evidence into 4 classes. Class 1 evidence, class 2 evidence, class 3 evidence, class 4 evidence. You can see it on the net. When we say class 1 evidence, it has to be an RCT, random clinical trial. And when we say evidence 2, it has to be observational clinical study. When we say evidence 3, it has to be a case study. Or when we say evidence 4, it has to be an anecdote, it can be a folklore, it can be a claim of Unani medicine. So when we have the documentation from folklore, from claim, from anecdote, and if it is converted into level 1 evidence by RCT and other things, we say that we have given evidence to our medicine. At least if we cannot reach to level 1, at least we can go up to level 2. It will serve our purpose. Because historically we have been practicing it from thousands of years. From Babylonia to this time, It means 6,000 years we are practicing certain medicine. And in European Union, it says that we will accept the traditional drug if it has 1 century use. It is in European Union legislation. So then we have thousands of years with our experience. So if we have level 2 evidence, that is enough for us to go and practice and legislate or regularize our medicine. Here we need this evidence-based medicine. For that we need integration. Integration in terms of the methods of generating the evidence, and integration in terms of translating our this medicine into the practice. That is, our companies and other things, we have to go to them and then say them to make this as a medicine, or we have to go for entrepreneurship, develop our medicine by our own selves. Again, we have technological advances. This age is driven by AI. We have informatic pharmacology. Just you can put up a computer and a software, then take your own drugs, put them into the software. It will give you some leads while it can be used. Those leads you can take to laboratory and see whether they are okay or not, and then you can even restructure your drugs so that you can go for a nanoparticle, nano-based formulations, or you can go for some activity transforming molecule you can get. Similarly, this technological advances that needs integration. So when I say we need integration, I will say scientific advancements are purposive cause for integration. Purposive cause, we have to be in this century, but without changing the essence of Unani medicine. So there are certain areas where we need to integrate. Say for example, holistic health and preventive care. The strategy for integration, Unani medicine goes beyond curing disease. Unani medicine is not that it cures only diseases. There are wellness programs also. There are certain regimens with age also. We have to take care of those regimens. And then we have season-specific regimens for every person of any age. Then we have one more thing which is very important, that we have certain regimens which are prophylactic in nature. Say for example, we go for cupping in April or March with the aim that a person does not contract some serious disease for 1 year or 6 months. We can repeat it twice, but we say prophylactic cupping or prophylactic bloodletting. Similarly, we have 1, 2, 3 drugs. Say for example, choke chili. Sir was talking with us in the guest room that it is for arthritis, very good drug. But if you go through some passages of Khazainul Adwiya, it says it is one of the best drugs for wellness. And there are two methods, separate 2 methods, how Khandani Sharifi used it, how Khandani Azizi used it for wellness program. It says that if you go for taking this choke chini 2 grams every day, adding 2 grams to a decoction till 20 days, and then reduce it up to 2 grams or 40 days, this procedure can be used. And it says, it claims, I don't say that we have evidence yet. Historical evidences we have so many. It claims that if a person uses this procedure from 40 to 50 years of age, he will not contract any serious disease till his death. So this is a big claim. and people have used it. Khandani Sharif has given us procedure. Khandani Aziz is giving the procedure. So, why is the lacking? Lacking is we have to develop the evidence. We have to go for a longitudinal study, vertical study. It would have been false or wrong if it was quoted by one person. If a family of physicians is quoting it, and that too two families, two renowned families of Unani medicine, so it is a beyond historical doubt that it is one of the procedures of done this. Similarly, for one more drug we are using, Pushpa, Sasaprila, same method is adopted, and it says that it can cure you from any epidemic disease. So these claims are not small claims that we can overlook. They are procedures which we have to use, which we are using, and which can be considered significant things in the medicine. Then Unani medicine goes beyond curing of disease, but I was telling about it. It emphasizes maintaining health through disciplined lifestyle. What does disciplined lifestyle mean? We have 6 asbab-e-sitta zaruriya, which are very essential for existence of life or existence of a living being. It includes air, it includes food, and it includes work and sleep. It includes mental repose and work, and it includes also evacuation and the retention of matter in the body. So they are very big principles. They are very big essential requisites. Unani medicine has defined it, and then lot of passages are there. What type of food we should take, what type of in which air we should breathe, and what type of how we should sleep and how we should get up. And then there are lot many exercises. Then again we have balanced diet, physical activity, mental well-being. These are very important while we have, this is one of the fields where we need integration to get evidence, to get world convinced how far Unani can be adapted. Then we have preventive approach in particular is particularly significant for present challenges like stress, sedentary lifestyle, and environmental degradation. I am talking of not only the human values, but the basic existence, environmental degradation. We have been told that, and we are seeing that there are not many climatic changes. Environmental warming is there. And when we go for Unani medicine, what is there in it? It says you how to conserve water. It says you how to conserve plants. It says you how to conserve trees. And if anybody, if we make a pledge that at least one person grows one tree in his life, there will be a reduction of 2% degradation in the whole world. It is not as, it is just one effort which we can use. Then we have one more area where we need collaboration and integration. That is innovation in Unani medicine. Here are some examples where we can say what type of innovations we can do. Say for example, we have area of pharmaceuticals. We can have we have done it. What I have exemplified, we have nano encapsulation of ergonomic and Rogle Badam for enhancing bioavailability and efficacy. Secondly, we have digital integration. AI for understanding sewage design and personal Unani treatments. We can go for it because we have the environment, we have the institute where we can collaborate. And then, not only that, we have the technology also. Computers can handle it. Say, for example, in statistics, two-way factor analysis was very difficult till 2000. But when computers came, we can go for L into M into N factor analysis. Any type of rows, any type of columns we can generate, and then we can have statistical analysis. Here we have lot many factors discussed in Unani medicine for health and disease. We can take them, use the AI, and we can get so many inferences, and then we can get the evidence for them. Then we have evidence-based practice, what I was talking of. It ensures traditional therapies for meeting global standards of safety and efficacy. Evidence practice ensures, so we need integration here. Then we have another area, public health. Cost-effective and sustainable solution for global health challenge is in under-resourced communities. Very important thing, there are almost 1/3 of countries which are under-resourced. Somewhere are having companies, there is poor population in certain countries, and there are certain unfavorable conditions for various countries. There, if we go for cost-effective and sustainable solutions for problems, the trees are there, the plants are there, and the Unani is there. We can easily fetch them the medicine, we can fetch them the enriched functional foods also. The principles are applicable in managing epidemics, improve MCH, and reduce burden of non-communicable diseases. It is not just a statement. In epidemics, COVID, you may have seen that in Tamil Nadu, Siddha has done wonderful work for COVID, and Unani was not lagging behind. Here, in Siddha, we had 2 medicines which were used for COVID, but in Unani, we had 8 formulations prescribed for COVID, and individually we could have given it, and we had studied it during the round, and papers were published so that we could use them in an evidence-based way. Then in non-communicable diseases, modern medicine or allopathy, it is very much inadequate in non-communicable disease treatment. Whenever there is any disease, it goes for surgery, which in Unani and other systems, it is the last resort. Surgery is the last resort. We have medicines where we can cure them. Say, for example, surgery is needed when we have degeneration. Before degeneration, there is oxidative stress, and before oxidative stress, there is accumulation of certain antigens which cause inflammatory conditions. If in inflammatory state and in this oxidative stress, we have lot many drugs which can help. Say, for example, we have a new term of pharmacology, antioxidants. We have one more term which is not in the textbooks of pharmacology, that is anti-stress. Anti-stress agents. Anti-stress agent means in a cold environment and very hot environment, you can use those drugs and you can normalize the functions. Similarly, we have one more that we call immune modulators. Immunomodulators are there which we can use, but those immune modulators which are in the modern medicine, they have lot many problems. Here in Unani medicine, we have immunostimulants and immunodepressants in one entity of drug. That is the difference where Unani and allopathy is there. Here we have Unani medicine not equipped in reducing millions of mental problems. This is one of the neglected areas of Unani medicine. But we have so much literature in Unani medicine in mental disorders that almost every manuscript, it's 5 pages, 10 pages, 50 pages, are dedicated to mental health. Dedicated to mental health, not only mental health, you may say that schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, delusions. These 4 important, while we don't have much treatment or we have treatment with compliance problems. Long duration treatment is there in allopathy. But in Unani we have description of these 4 diseases and their treatment is there. Alhamdulillah, in Chennai we have one OPD where we successfully treat patients of depression, patients of schizophrenia and not digital schizophrenia with auditory and visual hallucinations. We treat them. And then there is what many this, say for example, de-addiction program. How we de-addict from opium, how we de-addict from heroin, and how we de-addict from alcohol. All these things are written in our books. So there is one of these aspects, public health, one of the aspects, mental health, we can take up, integrate, collaborate with people, we can get the evidence. So with these submissions, but the take-home message is that we saw what is collaboration, what is integration, what are Unani frameworks, what are basic concepts which we should always discuss in our terms, and then what is this, what is the way forward for integration, that our principles cannot be compromised. Yes, they can be compromised only if our basic principles are altered. And they can only be altered if there is a paradigm shift in philosophy or sciences. Like Newton's theory was modified by Einstein, that is a paradigm shift. Then we know all about our holistic medicine, then we propound something, we may have a paradigm shift. Unless and otherwise, we have to stick to our fundamental principles. Thank you very much.